Hi, this is Kane Hodder, better known as Jason from Friday the 13th, Victor Crowley from Hatchet. You are listening to Midnight at the Monster Museum. Keep listening, or I'll kill you.
Welcome, episode 8 of Midnight at the Monster Museum. I'm Tom, this is Jeff.
What up?
And, whoa, he said what up. He didn't say
Sales cuts out the giggity.
He didn't say the giggity. Okay, so episode 8, we made it. Kind of. Woo! We're not at the end yet, but we're.
And that's a wrap. There we go. Episode 9.
Episode 8, Midnight at the Monster Museum. Flashback feature.
Now that I have your attention, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Trickster.
What was that film you were watching?
Death, death, death.
Death, death, death.
Part 2.
Oh, Lord. Michael's seen it.
Go for it, man.
Done it. Played it.
Look, I've played them all.
And just when he thought he'd die of boredom,
BRAINSCAN, the ultimate experience in interactive terror.
Never leave home without it.
You're in the game, man. You're in control.
You must think like a killer. Cover up any clues. Leave no witnesses, no evidence.
a challenge he can't resist.
It was so real. It was sick.
See, I told you, man. I told you it would blow your mind.
A game he can't escape.
There was a grisly murder in the quiet suburban town of Mountview today.
So you did it.
What was on that disc?
It's not a game anymore.
Hamilton and Hayden.
It's real.
It wasn't supposed to be real.
Real, unreal, what's the difference?
I didn't kill the man. I didn't even know him.
You're in this now. You won't survive on your own. You started this and now you're afraid to finish it just like you're afraid of everything else.
I won't kill her. Shoot her.
Wait. The witness has to die.
Edward Furlong, Frank Langella, and introducing T. Ryder Smith as the trickster. BRAINSCAN.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
BRAINSCAN. And before we get to BRAINSCAN, let's just talk about, I don't know, shoot the shit. What's going on? Anything good?
No, nothing good. Lots of stuff, nothing good.
But I heard you saw the first episode of Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
That's good!
Yeah. Well, that was last night, and so that was like the capper of my night last night.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So, happy ending.
Ish. It was good, it wasn't that good. It was really good, it wasn't that good. I'll give you 5 stars, and it's still not a happy ending good. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. And practical effects?
Quite a bit. A little more CGI than I would have liked, but I understand why they were there.
What did you watch it on?
It's on DC, the DC.
Oh, the
universe
DC
app.
app. Yeah, you can only watch it on the DC app.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
I have it. I've had it because I had it because Doom Patrol, another fantastic. The series are pretty good. They have
So
Titans,
I
they
think
have Doom
Patrol
Patrol, and
is on Hulu though. I
don't know.
think so. Maybe Swamp Thing.
I don't
will be
think
on
so
Hulu.
because I have Hulu too and I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong.
No, maybe not. I mean, I haven't looked for it there.
No.
So
Well, I'd like to see Swamp Thing, so maybe
It's
I'll
awesome.
have to look at the DC app. How much does DC app cost a month?
I think $9.
$9.99.
I think so.
It's like WWE.
Yeah.
$9.99. Is it still $9.99 for WWE?
Yeah, but they're talking about raising it, but I don't know why.
Yeah. The product's getting less than perfect. Let's raise the price. Guys, if you all pay $13 for WWE, maybe we'll get a better product. They'll put that money
No,
towards
they'll think
the
that what they're
production.
doing is working. They still think what they're doing is working because of that Saudi Arabia money.
Oh, it's rough, man. It's rough. I
It's
don't
pretty
watch.
bad.
I haven't watched since
AEW,
Mania.
did you manage to catch any AEW? Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be watching. The double. I mean, it was their first event, but that's the kind of wrestling that you fell in love with to want to get into. Yes, absolutely. It
So-
was fantastic.
Sin Bodhi, my old coach and good buddy, he went and did training over at the Performance Center recently.
Okay.
Yeah, he was training over there, and he is also the Ohio Valley Wrestling Anarchy champion right now.
Oh, wow.
So he's kind of sliding back towards the WWE, and that's an interesting thing. I wonder if something will take off or what.
I don't know if you know this, but the artist formerly known as Dean Ambrose is now John Moxley and joined AEW.
He's back to John Moxley.
He joined AEW.
Vegas local. I will hang out
He
with
sho-
Dean Ambrose
He
someday.
showed up at AEW, and you could see him reinvigorated. And then the next day, he was on Jericho's podcast and completely buried WWE.
I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
Well, this is not a wrestling podcast, although
we'll
I
talk wrestling
do
sometimes.
love wrestling.
He said the intro.
Yeah,
the first
sure.
episode, we'll talk
I
wrestling.
said it may
sometimes. Here we
slip
go.
in and out, and
Yeah.
it slipped in, and now it's slipping out.
This is
And
going to
we're-
save wrestling business, so that's why.
I hope, yeah, and raising the price of the network.
Well, AEW is going to debut in October on TV.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What channel?
TNT.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hulu. Awesome. BRAINSCAN.
Directed
Is
by
it-
John Flynn.
Okay. What else has he directed?
He directed the Steven Seagal film Out for Justice.
Oh.
It's the one that's really awesome.
Yeah.
He takes the pool ball and puts it in the sock and beats the crap out of everybody in
Of
that. I love
course he
that. It's the
does.
best scene in the movie.
Nunchuck
And then
pool
also
ball.
the Sylvester Stallone movie Lockout.
Okay.
He's directed those
I
stuff,
never,
but those are the two.
I never
most
saw.
cool. It's pretty good.
Lockout.
Yeah.
You know what I loved is Cliffhanger. Everybody hates Cliffhanger.
I like that
I
movie.
love Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think Brittany Harlan directed that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They were talking about actually rebooting that.
Cliffhanger?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it'd be good.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's based on a true story. And you know that the true story of Cliffhanger, the dudes that found the money, were the guys who started Patagonia and North Face, all the
Oh, I didn't know
outfitting stuff. They were dirty mountain hiker, spelunking climber guys, and they came across a shit ton of drugs and sold it and got money. And
So it wasn't John Lithgow? No?
it wasn't Lithgow. It wasn't a gangster. And they built huge rich people corporations, of which my mom now wears the jackets of. So it's pretty funny because that's on drug money, and I know it. But yeah, a really, really cool story. There's a documentary about it. But back to BRAINSCAN.
Story credit goes to Brian Owens. He didn't really have much of a prolific writing career, but then the screenplay was written by Andrew Kevin Walker, and his credits include 7, 8mm, Sleepy Hollow, and the 2010 version of Wolfman.
That's awesome. I like all of those movies.
They're great.
And I one thing I love.
I think Wolfman's actually underrated.
Way underrated. It just didn't get it didn't come to the right audience to the right time. If that came out right now in Monsterpalooza days, because it was pre-Monsterpalooza, I think Wolfman would be received completely differently
I agree.
right now.
And it's a shame because then that was going to be part of the new Universal Monster reboot thing, and then they shifted gears, and then we got the new Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And,
The makeups on Anthony Hopkins and Wolfman were incredible.
yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I love that movie. So, great writer because he's written a lot. Every movie you just mentioned, I love.
They're fantastic movies.
And kind of love them at the same level because those are all movies that, they're watchable, they're fun. I'll put it on when I can't find something else, but it's not a go-to.
What's in the box?
But
It's my dick in the box. Starring Edward Furlong. We all know him from Terminator 2, of course, American History X.
Of course.
Detroit Rock City. I know you love that movie.
I do.
Big Kiss fan.
And I love Ed Furlong.
Pet
I
Sematary
wanted to be Ed Furlong when
I
I
know
was a
you
kid.
do, but I just gotta say, get out of the way right away. And I know that there's a chance he could push it, whatever. I'm not a fan of him in this movie.
In
I'll
BRAINSCAN.
like him in general. Do not like him in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I do not.
Man,
He has two gears. He has normal talking and yelling. That's what his two gears are.
I always wanted to be Edward Furlong growing up.
And anytime he's talking to Trickster,
got those boots
he's
with-
usually yelling.
Oh, this is Trickster. Trickster's
No, never.
terrifying.
What are you doing? No.
Well, let's just talk about the fact that he's starting what I love about this movie, and we'll talk about who else is in it. Gary Oldman, of course, plays Trickster.
No.
No?
No.
Who plays Trickster?
It's Ryder Smith.
Are you serious? Wowzers.
T. Ryder Smith.
So I've my whole life thought Gary Oldman played Trickster. My whole life.
He looks like him in the prosthetics, but yeah, it's T. Ryder.
Like I really always thought Gary Oldman played Trickster.
I could see why. He looks like him, but yeah.
That's
T. Ryder Smith.
crazy.
Guys-
Steve Johnson did the makeup effects.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got one right. My God, I would have told you Gary Oldman played. I would have bet Prosky money on that.
Then that would have been a Prosky moment.
Yeah. Well, it was.
We haven't referenced for a few
It was
episodes.
anyway. It
Yeah,
was
Prosky
anyway, because
moment.
I'll tell you what. Wow, my mind is blown. I have BRAINSCAN on Laserdisc, but I'm not going to blame the Laserdisc because they have adequate end and beginning credits as well. So,
And he is credited in both.
yeah, geez Louise, Tom.
And it says T. Ryder Smith as Trickster, I believe.
That's crazy. Maybe I
mean,
heard,
even in the intro,
maybe
I
in
think.
like a Fangoria magazine or Gorezone somewhere down the line, I heard it was based on a look of Gary Oldman. Maybe.
Or Mandela Effect.
Mandela effect. I do believe in that.
No, we've talked
Yeah,
about it. That's
I mean, I'm hardcore, man. I know the Bernstein Bears, and I know how it's spelled. That's crazy. Okay, so
Well, I will add real quick that the director, John Flynn, did not enjoy working with Edward Furlong.
really,
Yeah, he did not like it. So much to the point that he has gone on record as saying, Eddie Furlong was a 15-year-old kid who couldn't act. You had to slap him awake every morning. I don't want to get into knocking people, but I was not a big Eddie Furlong fan.
that's crazy. Well, I don't know what Eddie's doing these days. All I do know is that Terminator 2 changed my life, and Eddie
He's
Furlong
awesome in that movie.
is incredible in that movie. I wanted dirt bikes, and I wanted Guns N' Roses, and I wanted cool hair.
Which
and,
I have to say real quick, is I collect figures. I have a Terminator collection, and they just announced for the con they're finally releasing a little John Connor action figure with dirt bike.
Really, they had one back in the day, like the cheapo
Yeah,
one.
but this one looks like
Yeah.
him, and yeah.
Well, let's see if they get the right model, because the crazy thing in that dirt bike is a XR 100, and when it's racing down the road, they're using CR 125 sound.
Yeah.
They put a 2-stroke to the 4-stroke motorcycle, and that always bothered me as a kid.
Well,
but
the thing that bothered me more is that bike got rammed by a semi-truck. It keeps going.
Honda, man.
Multiple times.
It's a Honda.
Rammed. But the rear wheel is rammed by a semi-truck. And,
well,
one of the few flaws in that movie.
you meet the nicest people on a Honda. That's the slogan from the 60s. Anyway, I do love Eddie Furlong as a kid, and as a kid, I wanted to be Eddie Furlong, including in BRAINSCAN. I love the idea of setting up a horror club in school. I think that's really cool. I love that kind of the whole movie takes place, and you don't know, is it the club? Is it the movie? What is happening here? And it's kind of like Lawnmower Man, like a little early virtual reality.
I actually like it better than Lawnmower Man.
I like it better than Lawnmower Man as well.
Particularly because of the god-awful effects in Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
Do you remember who plays the principal in that movie? In this movie, I mean.
Gary Oldman.
It's David Hemblin.
I don't even know who that is.
He was the villain in Short Circuit 2.
Oh, man. Johnny Five is alive.
And he was also one of my favorites, Lord Dredd in Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
I loved Captain Power.
And what this I didn't know, though, is he was the voice of Magneto in the 90s cartoon. Yeah, the 90s cartoon. And the weirdest thing is I heard it and I was like, well, I recognize it. I wasn't watching. I was just listening, and I was like, "Where do I know that voice from?" And I saw him. I was like, "Oh, it's him." And then I saw the cast listening, and I was like,
Wow.
holy cow, you know? Yeah, because I love that cartoon.
Guards, they're onto us.
Is that your David Hamlin?
No, that's Wolverine from the end.
Oh! Okay.
Gun oil. Guards, they're onto us.
There you go.
Anyway, wow, I love Captain Power too. You used to be able to shoot a TV, and that was
Captain Power.
that's
We've talked about
that's
that
kind of
many
brain
times,
scan. Like it's you're really part of the
You ever
entertainment.
watch Captain Power?
I was about to say what
You never
You don't know what
watched
Captain Power?
Oh!
Captain Power was tiny.
It was
Kenner
a total
sized.
Power Rangers almost.
Yeah. It was like,
But it was
the
made for
toys.
kids.
The toys had Kenner-sized, like space dudes that you could play with your Star Wars because they were kind of the same scale, or GI Joe, and they
It
had
was a
ships.
live-action show, and
the
the
ships.
effects were awesome.
You could shoot the TV screen when it was on Saturday morning, and it was like Duck Hunt, but it just was on. It worked.
Yeah,
You could.
it was the remnants of the human race, and they had 5 people that had their power suits, and they
were like
power
gold.
chambers, and they
They looked like Aquanauts.
They were
but gold.
awesome. The
Yeah.
costumes were awesome,
were.
and it was
Never
some of the.
seen this.
It was so cool. It was so good. I love that show.
What do you mean you could shoot your TV?
It was like an
You had the
interactive
ships, and then
game.
you shoot the TV, and then you get the score, and then they'd have a sensor that would sense it, and it would blow your ship up, and the guy would
Like the
shoot out of
actual
cockpit.
toy would blow up if they shot you.
Yeah.
Huh.
And because it's like light sensors, kind of like the
It was
old
way
TV
ahead of its
remotes.
time.
Yeah.
Gary Goddard, the guy who directed Master of the Universe, he actually executive produced that.
And I think it was developed by the dudes that made Laser Tag and Teddy
think
Ruxpin,
you're right.
Worlds of Wonder.
I think you're
I
correct.
think, but I'm not positive.
I think you're correct.
Was it like those old
Same era.
VHS sort of?
They
You
did have
could-
those
you
too.
could get
buy
it on
those
a tape,
Yeah.
too.
No,
Yeah.
but the TV show that was on weekly,
It would just come on,
You could
and you could shoot the bad guys.
and it had the monsters that they had for the bad guys. There was the flying one, Sauron, and then there was one with these tank treads. They were some of the earliest CGI, but they digitized you. That's what they would do is they'd shoot you this beam and digitize you, and then
Captain Power's pretty badass. You should look it up.
it's
And if
That's
you,
pretty
it's really awesome because even though it was a kid's show, like one of the main characters straight up got killed in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, 80s show, but
if
totally
you
killed off
can't
one of the main
handle
characters.
Captain Power, you can move on to Captain Planet.
What?
That's like the sissy version.
Okay. I don't disagree with that.
I like Captain Planet too.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You have Amy Hargreaves as his love interest of Kimberly.
Kimberly was smoking.
Yes, very much so. She had bit parts in occasional films here and there, but mainly did television work on like Law and Order and Blacklist, Blue Bloods, Person of Interest, a lot of stuff recently.
Bunch of junk that I wouldn't
Yeah.
watch.
Jamie Morris, who plays his friend Kyle, that dude is 27 in that movie.
No. way.
Yeah. Dude, he don't look 27 at all.
I always related them to the kids from the gate. It was like
Yeah.
the kids from the gate grown up a little bit, but not.
Yeah,
But
that
it
guy's
could've
27, and
Wow.
he pretty much did TV work, just little like single episode
Yeah.
from like ER and X-Files and NYPD Blue. Oh, Sabrina too. But of course, Frank Langella,
been- Yeah.
I have to say, his character's not awful, but complete waste of Frank Langella in this movie. I mean, he could have been played by anybody pretty much.
Yeah.
And I only say that because you know how much I love Langella.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you love Frank Langella more or Skeletor more? Who's cooler? Frank Langella or Skeletor?
Well, Skeletor, but I mean, he played Dracula. He played
Yeah,
Dracula
he's
in
great. No,
'79.
he's awesome
I mean,
as
he's done
Dracula.
lots of great
Awesome as
roles and stuff like that.
When I worked-
he even played Perry White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I worked at WM Creations, Matthew, my boss, used to cut his hair, and so I kept that 8x10 of him as Skeletor in my locker there.
Well, actually, you got to say no. Langella's cooler because he is Skeletor. So
You chose Skeletor. It's over.
they're one and the same.
Game's over.
No.
But
changed
I
it.
kept that 8x10 in my locker for a good year, and then of course I go home on vacation to visit my mom, and somebody calls me, "Oh, Langella's here getting his haircut. I was like, get the photo out of my locker! They might have been just screwing with me. This really could have been a hazing thing, because I never saw Langella, but nobody got my
Well, I mean,
picture,
that, you know, that movie is great, the
Yeah.
87 Master Universe.
Yeah.
But his role in that, his performance in that, takes it to absolute new heights and makes it more than just a B movie. I mean, and to me, that's one of the best villain roles of all time.
Right.
Yes.
No, it was great.
Yeah, I love him.
And he comes back in that gold medal at the end and looks kind of like
That-
Captain Power.
Yeah, that's Captain Power was a cool gold outfit.
Yeah.
You have to look it up. It's on YouTube.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
In BRAINSCAN, young, metalish punk kid loves horror, collects Fangorias, and that's always cool when Fangoria gets an on-screen plug. I always love that. And he's got the magazines all over the place and stuff. And then he orders this game it's a CD-ROM game out of the back of the magazine. He
I
gets
thought it
it.
was Kyle's game, though. No?
Is it Kyle's or is it his?
Kyle's game, yeah.
Okay, Kyle gets it, brings it over, whatever it is. They ordered it, they play it, and when they do play it, they don't know that they're playing a game. They think that they don't understand what's going on. They kind of forget about the whole friggin' game.
It basically becomes one of those, it was a dream sequence movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was a game.
Yeah.
But the thing is they see a murder happen and this serial killer is running around and they're
Well, Kyle doesn't see it.
yeah.
Kyle doesn't know anything about it. He's just telling him about how real and vivid it was and how awesome it was, and he keeps denying Kyle that he's like, oh no man, I was gonna play it one more time.
Yeah.
I promise
I'll get it back. I'll get it back. And then at the end of the day, that's what they slip the principal as, like, hey, we want to do a horror club, you know. And I think that the movie Trickster is the villain, and he's like a mohawked
Not
suit
Gary Oldman.
wearing. You know what he looks like? The masks.
He looks like Gary Oldman.
He looks like if the Mask had an evil brother or cousin, because he's got like the zoot suit
Sure.
and the crazy fluffy hair, and he's overly
Well, I think
animated.
it's kind of cool because he's a video game character, they deliberately make his face look really non-textured.
Right.
You know, and it's cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it
no,
looks like he's
very effective
yeah.
makeup, and man, did I think that was Gary Oldman my whole life. But very, very effective makeup.
Well, best sequence is when he's telling, and to me anyway, when he's telling Eddie Furlong, you know, oh man, I won't, you know, I'll let them electrocute me, I'll let them break my fingers, and he's sitting there snapping his fingers, and then he's
yeah.
like, I'll let him gouge my eyes out, and he gouges his own eyes out and stuff.
That's probably one of my favorite visual parts of the whole movie, because the effects shine. Like we said, Steve Johnson does makeup effects, and he does a brilliant
And
job.
of course, we bragged about Steve Johnson, oozed about him
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, on unsung movies, and this is an unsung movie. This is a movie that didn't get big DVD play.
Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't actually know that Steve Johnson did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even though I looked his
Yeah.
shit up the other day, or you know, whatever, it slipped past me.
But it is it's one of those movies. To me, it was like a for horror fans by horror fans kind of movie, and yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a dream sequence almost. Like the whole movie, at the end of the day, there's nothing at stake and nobody's really injured. Why is Eddie Furlong stuck at home? Like, he doesn't go to school. He's kind of like
he's
like Ferris Bueller.
He kind of gets suspended because he has the horror club, and then the principal walks in on it and he doesn't approve.
Yeah.
And so then he suspends horror club, and so then he gets all emo and's like, I'm gonna stay home.
I'm gonna stay home in my room.
Well, and his dad's off doing a job or something like that, so he doesn't have to answer to anybody either. So
Doing a job.
yeah.
Like it's like Sydney's dad was off doing a job. No, he was kidnapped by Billy Loomis.
No clone cellular phones here. Billy Loomis, what the fuck? What a pussy ass wet rag. Oh no, that was Stu, wasn't it?
That was Stu. Well, so there's no real victims.
No.
There's
Well,
no-
there is, but you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. The first guy that dies, he's just some random dude, and he cuts off his foot, and then the foot turns up.
The foot
later in
shows up,
show.
yeah,
So
that's-
it's kind of teased that it did kind of happen, but then Kyle dies, but you don't really see it.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much it.
That's
and then
it.
well, and then his mom is alluded to have died in a car accident when he gets his knee messed up and he's a little
Well,
kid
yeah,
and
because
stuff.
he's kind of a gimpy. He's a gimpy for a while.
Yeah.
He had to have some kind of a gimmick. Like, hey, I gotta do something. Give me some.
But that was
motivation.
funny because Trickster's like, oh yeah, your mom abandoned you. Yeah, abandoned you when she died. I mean,
So, you know, I think what I'm realizing that I must have loved so much about this movie, it was almost like a teenage version of Little Monsters.
okay.
Because you have that Maurice relationship
Yeah.
where he pokes fun, he makes fun of you. But in this case, he's actually breaking his fingers instead of picking his
Well,
boogers.
originally too, when they merged at the end, it was actually supposed to be this like really abomination type of a creature that they didn't end up doing, and apparently the entire crew and stuff like that, the production team, they loved this shot, and they loved but nobody seems to know. At least when I was doing research,
That's
why
right
they didn't use
there,
it.
the curse of Steve Johnson.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's building an entire workable Hulk suit and then saying, we'll just do this CG thing. You know, it's terrible. But yeah, I would like to see that abomination. I have not, are there images that have surfaced?
I didn't find any, but that doesn't mean no.
Yeah.
I did see the Hulk suit though, and it was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
What I really liked is, did you see the arm transformation? There is an arm
yeah.
transformation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really sick, where
Yeah.
it shows the shirt actually. Yeah, that was cool.
It was awesome. All practical. It looked great. What was Eddie's name in it? It wasn't
Michael.
Zach. Michael. Michael get the girl at the end?
Kind of, because he gets the chutzpah to go and like see her and stuff like that, because they were hooking up in the pseudo dream sequence stuff, so then he gets the balls to go over and see her, and then he's like, hey, would you like to go out with me? She goes,
maybe.
I don't know. He's like, oh, I understand. And she's all like, well, don't get all sad. Maybe. He's like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she gives him a kiss anyway. But, so kind of.
Yeah.
I guess yes, because she kissed him, but no.
Maybe down the road. Maybe. She's like, well, if you fix your leg, stop being so emo. Stop bothering Jeff so much, Eddie Furlong. So I did want to plug that we will be at the Days of the Dead convention coming up next weekend here, and Eddie Furlong will be there, so maybe we'll be able to get him to not listen to this episode. But at the same time, I hope that we can get some bits with some people while we're there and plug them into the podcast. Anybody that's in Las Vegas or surrounding areas, Kingman, whatever, come on out to Days of the Dead. It's June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it's going to be super, super cool. Tons of celebrities. Malcolm McDowell's showing up.
Oh, wow.
It should be really cool.
I was just imagining you. It's like, Eddie Furlong, pleasure to meet you. We got this podcast. We were just reviewing BRAINSCAN. Don't listen to it though, okay?
But I love
we talk
Terminator
about
2.
you and stuff like that, but don't listen to it, man.
Don't listen to it. But hey, one time you were in this movie called The Crow. Oh, that's terrible.
My God, I hate that movie
Let's not talk about that. Oh, and then there was that time there was a Night of the Demons remake. We talked about you in that one too. Oh, don't listen to that one. Episode 5.
We didn't talk trash about him, and then we talked about mediocrity of the movie. It wasn't okay.
I think I might have called him pudgy. I don't know. You did inflate.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
I don't think you did.
But I love Detroit.
But now you have. So now you have. But
So don't listen to it. But anyway.
He's awesome in Terminator. You love Detroit Rock City.
And that's
American
good.
History X. He's great.
Pecker? He was great in
Yeah.
Pecker. I love that movie. So, that's good. Good for Eddie Furlong. Maybe we'll seek out some other horror celebs that can listen to the podcast, and we'll get them to come out on the podcast. That would be really cool. But if there is anybody, like I said, in the area, come on down. And we're going to have a booth there. Come say hi. Tell us if you listen, and tell us if you like it, and tell us what to change. If you want, I don't know.
Quit talking trash about your heroes, man.
Well, we're just lovingly critiquing them. Now, I do love the movie BRAINSCAN, but the more we talk about it, I'm starting to think I don't love it as much as I did.
When was the last time you saw it?
I have not watched this movie since 2010.
It's not awful. It's not even bad. It's just.
No, I would have said that it was. It's a go-to to watch.
If I constructively speaking, as a horror, I would have liked to have seen more killing.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more Steve Johnson. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but who wouldn't? You know,
Yeah, of
I want to
course.
see that abomination monster.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell?
Why can't they just put Gary Oldman in it? Just for 5 minutes.
That ruined the movie for you too, because you thought it was Gary Oldman,
did.
and now Gary Oldman has been.
But that's why
he's been retconned.
It's also why I'm second guessing if I even like the movie, because how can I get something so great wrong? Like, I thought he was the main villain.
Al Lewis.
I thought he was the
too all
main
these years.
villain. That was just a mistake. That was different. This is different. This was not a mistake. I full-heartedly believe this. Anyway, I know for a fact that Sinbad was in a Genie movie. I saw it.
He made one.
Yeah.
After it came out, he made.
I saw it before that.
I do want to go back real quick to plug Swamp Thing again, because for anybody that is at all interested in it, James Wan, you know, he's horror maestro lately. He's producing it. But both Gary Doberman and Mark Verheyen, they are the creators of it.
I'm in for Derek Mears.
But hang on. Doberman, he wrote It Chapter 1 and 2 and the Annabelle films and The Nun. I know that you feel the same way about some of that, but you like the It movies for what they are. Verheyen, though, he produced and wrote much of Battlestar Galactica, Ash vs. Evil Dead, Smallville, the Constantine TV show. I don't know did you ever see this TV
like
show?
it all, yeah.
I loved that show. It was great. And he wrote My Name is Bruce.
I hate that they call it Constantine, though.
Why?
Because it should be...
Hellblazer?
Yeah, Hellblazer. And that's the comics I have. Yeah. But that's okay. Constantine just sounds like a Russian tattoo artist to me.
But he is Constantine.
I know.
But he wrote My Name is Bruce, too.
I like My Name is Bruce.
That movie's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it was directed by, at least the one episode I saw was directed by Len Wiseman, who did Underworld and Underworld Evolution.
What do you feel about the Underworld movies?
Honestly, I don't like them, but
Yeah, I
that's
don't
beside the
either.
point.
I can't get through them, man. They're all blue and gray. I just fall asleep.
And he directed.
Great creature
He also
design.
directed Live Free or Die Hard, which I think it's a bad rap. I actually really like that.
I like
Die
that
Hard
movie.
Yeah, I
like
like it
it.
a lot.
I can't. There's not a Die Hard movie I don't like, though.
I don't like A Good Day to Die Hard.
That's the newest one?
The fifth one.
I didn't see
I
it.
did not like that movie. The movie's awful.
I didn't see it.
It went back to R-rated, but it's an hour and a half, and it has no motivation for why it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But, a lot of practical effects in that movie, and very, very much horror-oriented.
In Swamp Thing.
Yes.
It's
And
a TV show.
There's a great homage, in my opinion anyway, to The Thing.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it's awesome.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. And Mears, even though you only see him at the very tail end of that suit is immaculate, he looks awesome. You know,
he'll show up more in the next
Oh, absolutely.
So here's the thing. Our flashback feature got hosed by something that's newer, but let's just jump back real quick, give a Hypnoswirl rating on BRAINSCAN, and then we'll we'll talk a little more Swamp Thing and then do a rating on Swamp Thing. Just because we've talked so extensively about it, we want people to get out and watch it. It's new and something like that. So let's go right back to BRAINSCAN. And what's your Hypnoswirl rating?
I'm going to give it 3.
Okay. I'm going to give it...
Not enough of what makes it cool.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
And that half is for putting Fangorias on the screen.
If it had Gary Oldman...
Oh, I'd be at 5. Full 5. 100%. And like, badass Gary Oldman. Like Dracula Gary Oldman. Tell me Gary Oldman was in Dracula.
He was not. That also went... No, I'm kidding.
He was Sid and Nancy, right? He was Sid. Yeah.
Yes.
God, I thought he was Trickster.
Commissioner Gordon is the guy who plays Dracula in that movie.
No.
Yes, technically.
Oh, because Gary... Yeah, I'm thinking 1960s Batman. I was like, no. Anyway, so jumping back to Swamp Thing, as you guys know from our Return to Swamp Thing episode, which might have been episode 2 or 4. I don't know.
6.
6.
Oh, it is 6. Okay.
6. So, Return to Swamp Thing, I'm a huge fan of. Swamp Thing in general, I'm a huge fan of. Bernie Wrightson, I'm a huge fan of. So,
Well, I had mentioned Adrian Barbeau's character in the original one being a gender swapped Cable. Matt Cable is a character in this one.
Oh, that's cool.
And Abby Arcane is in it as well.
Oh, that's who plays her.
Crystal Reed. She was just in Gotham.
I didn't see
TV show.
it.
She's okay in that. She's great in this.
Wow.
Everybody in this show is great. What's his name?
Does she wear sheer nightgowns?
No, she's a doctor in this.
Of course.
She's actually very intelligent. And Alec Holland, of course, is what's his name?
Do you think they would ever let Jim Wynorski guest direct one episode?
No, absolutely not. I do not think so.
Do you think that they would let Kevin Smith direct one?
Maybe.
Do you think they would let James Gunn direct one?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's a Marvel guy.
No.
But he was going to do Suicide Squad, right?
He is doing
He did? Oh, yeah.
He is going to.
Oh, I'd love it if he did a Swamp Thing episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring some of that Slither into Swamp Thing.
That's exactly why I was...
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
Well, so on your first episode review, what do you give?
5.
You know what? Let's bring Swamp Thing back every week. We'll talk about episodes every week.
Okay.
Until it's over. What is it, 10 episodes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Virginia Madsen's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't stand her brother. I hate him.
I like him in movies.
I worked with him one time and it ruined it forever. Forever.
She was so hot.
Yeah.
I love her so
Well,
much. I even love her in Highlander 2, and that movie is horrendous.
Yeah.
But Candyman,
Yeah.
let's see. Andy Bean plays Alec Holland. He's going to be the older Stan in it.
Oh, okay.
2. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Will Patton. Will Patton and Virginia Madsen, they play husband and wife in that, and they're going to be antagonists of certain sort. They haven't delved too much in it, but I know that they are going to be antagonists in it. Oh yeah, and of course I said Derek Mears is Swamp Thing, and he looks just absolutely phenomenal. If they were using CGI on him, I couldn't see it, but like I said, it was just brief shot of it at the end. And what I had said that I wished I could see in Return of Swamp Thing, which is more plant powers. I know you're going to see it in this.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah. 5.
So, 5.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Easy, hands down.
That's awesome. All right, so that right there was our flashback feature. Here's a word from our sponsors before we move on. All right, guys, we're back, and now we're going to talk about something a little more modern. Jeff watched Brightburn, and Brightburn is, for those of you guys who don't know, a superhero slasher film supposedly written by the Gunn brothers, James and...
Brian and Mark.
Oh, Brian and Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought it was going to be James and Brian.
No, he produced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who directed?
David Yarorevsky. I don't know. It's Yarevsky, I think.
Okay.
The only thing that I know he directed was The Hive. I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it either. But I
heard good things about it.
I did. It was pretty good.
I did not see Brightburn, so because I don't go see movies, but I will watch it. Regardless of what Jeff thinks of this movie, I'm super excited for it because I think it looks badass. So, go tell us.
I did enjoy it very much.
And Jeff's a huge superhero comic guy. Yeah. Like, he likes comics.
I was hoping for it to be gorier, but it didn't bother me. I was just hoping to see more.
Right.
When I just saw the trailers, I likened it to if instead of Baby Kal-El, they got Kryptonian baby Michael Myers.
Right.
That's what I like it. And I still kind of feel that way, except it's not the Kryptonians per se, because this is not really spoiling it, because it's pretty evident.
Yeah.
This is what happens. It's an invasion film. He's sent there to conquer,
To destroy people.
Yeah, but he's almost like a Trojan horse.
But
because-
and it's not legitimately from Krypton.
No.
It's just from another world.
But they're counting on you to
kind of connect
to
with that.
know that it's playing on the tropes of.
I mean, they've always said, "What if Superman?"
Yeah,
was...
if Superman, because I had some debates with some people about it. They're saying it's a Superman ripoff, and I was like, it's not really a ripoff because it's dependent on it.
Yeah.
If it's not, if Superman didn't exist, this movie couldn't exist.
Right.
Because it could, but it wouldn't be as interesting because they even say, oh, we believe you were here for a reason, and oh, we really wanted to have a baby, and they found, they're playing up those things even to the point that
they're lampooning it almost.
Absolutely. And I'll say that the acting across the board is really good. The kid who played Brandon Breyer is his name, not Clark Kent. Brandon Breyer. He's played by Jackson Dunn. I haven't seen much of his work, but we all just did see him briefly recently in Avengers Endgame. He played the adolescent version of Scott Lang.
Oh, okay.
When they were doing that time
Yeah.
jump and practice. Yeah, he came out as. So he plays the pseudo Superman, so to speak. He's pretty cool. He's creepy, like effectively creepy. David Denman, he played the father of Jason in Power Rangers, the new Power Rangers movie, the live action one.
Okay.
And ironically, also he plays his wife, played Rita Repulsa in that movie as well as Elizabeth Banks. She carries this movie as far as I'm concerned.
She's awesome in everything.
She's fantastic.
She makes almost every movie she's in.
No, I don't. I absolutely agree with you. But this is easily, I think, her best role I've ever seen her in.
Wow.
She is fantastic.
Better than Zack and Miri?
Yeah, I love that
Wow.
movie, by the way.
Wow.
But I didn't know until I did some research on it. She's classically trained. She's
great.
She's a classically trained actress, and it shows in this. And at first, you kind of see that she just believes that her son is good, and then she kind of is making excuses for it. And that's where the movie, to me, is really interesting because even though it's not spoken, you kind of sense that her husband wasn't always on board this idea.
Right.
It was just because they had,
They were
he cares for her. He cares for the boy, but he is more skeptical of him when things are sort of going awry. And she's like, how dare you say that about our son? And she's defending him almost to the end.
Yeah.
But it's about as far as I'll go with spoilers. But for what is there, practical effects wise is really good. There's this one great moment in the movie that I wish I could have seen practical effects, and it was CGI. I know it bothered Waleed as well, but the moment was still really cool.
Yeah.
No. You can respond to that part. I love. You can say you don't have to be silent here. Do you know what part I'm talking about?
What are we talking about?
I don't want to spoil anything.
No, but that's in the trailer, man. I'm just saying that we don't have to talk about it. I'm just saying I love that part when he just sees him in there and he goes, no.
Oh.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about
the whole
what
scene
happens.
is great, but the fact that they did like
it's CGI.
It was
over-reliant on CGI, but the movie was made for a modest budget, and
it could have been done practically.
No, I know it could have, but in my belief, it was one of those things where they knew they'd get the shot.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I will be checking it out. What do you give it on your rating scale?
I'll give it a 4. Oh, 4.
4. All
Yeah.
right. And
If it had been solid practical effects, I would have probably gotten up to a 5.
okay. Okay.
As a movie, it's.
Do you think it'll have a sequel?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely set up for a sequel. It actually kind of teases what may be a mirror versus sorts of the Justice League.
Huh. So they'll be bringing in others.
They tease it. They don't. It's very nice. Well, Michael Rooker's got a cameo thing. You don't really know who he is, but he's a conspiracy theorist, and it's just playing during the end credits, and he's talking about other characters that are clearly inspired by Aquaman, clearly inspired by Wonder Woman and such, but you don't actually see
cool.
any of them or anything.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, last week we forgot to kill you. We never got you killed. So I'm gonna spin the board here, and
Yeah, we left the place and
Yeah, we were gone.
nothing ever happened to you.
were you okay?
You forgot.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you. And you know what? Fuck you too, Wally. Fuck both of y'all. Oh, ha.
All right, so let's spin the wheel right now and see if you can escape the evil clutches, the hands, the sword, the what?
You will soon pledge your allegiance to me!
No way, Goldar. No way.
We shall soon see! Behold!
Goldar from Power Rangers.
Which one?
The original.
Okay. Well, I don't. You got fucking gigantic mongoloid.
That's not
ooze.
real. Blue-faced dog bat
But does he
Goldar.
actually kill anybody?
He's a monster.
But does he kill anybody?
I don't know.
I've
Can
never
you
seen him
can
kill
you
any-
can you
Well,
escape?
apparently I can because he hasn't killed anybody. So there we go. I survive.
Guys, I hate to cut this one short, but I gotta go on set and cut a girl's head off right now. So the nighttime is the fright time. I'm Tom, that's Jeff. That over there is Waleed. Actually, he's at home on his keyboard typing in.
Yep,
But
typing away.
that being said, everybody leave us comments, anything you want to see in the future, anything you have to do, anything in sandwich form that you might enjoy. We'll take that.
You're
And,
peanut butter. I'm jelly.
and we thank you. Out.